Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing my review for Black Adam, the new DC film that I was lucky enough to see last week, so I'm very excited. This is going to be a no spoiler review, so please be sure to stick around and don't worry, I'm going to give a little bit of explanations here and there about a little bit to do with the plot, but most of that stuff has been shown in the trailers. So I'm going to kind of try and stick to that. So for now, if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. Okay, so as you guys know, we've been waiting for Black Adam for a very long time, and finally it is coming out. You guys can see it very soon in cinemas, whether you're in America, the UK, Australia, or anywhere around the world. You will be able to watch it very soon. I was lucky enough to go to a press screening and see it very early, and I loved it. It's the full-on action film that DC and The Rock had promised us. And now, I would say, out of any of the DC films out there, I would say the Black Adam has the most action. It's literally like non-stop throughout the whole film. Like, it's scene after scene after scene is just Black Adam going at it with his so-called enemies. Some people are his literal enemies, like actual villains like Sabak, who obviously was included in the trailers as well, so that's not really a spoiler because he is a big character who is a foe in the comics. And so most of the film is set in Kahndaq, the place where Black Adam is from, and the film actually starts with a flashback. And this flashback is interesting because it basically sets up everything that's going to happen, and it's a decent opening, but it does have a little bit too much exposition because it explains like the entire history of Kahndaq and how Black Adam came to be, and then it kind of jumps to the future, and then you get to meet a couple of our main characters. We're introduced to the threats of the film, and then later we're introduced to the Justice Society of America, who have been alerted about Black Adam showing back up because he hasn't shown up in a long time, like way in the past, and so they know of his history, so they come to try and stop Black Adam, and a fight ensues between Black Adam and the Justice Society of America. So I have to say straight up, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is amazing as Black Adam. He is the perfect Black Adam, and you can tell he is so into it, and I love how committed The Rock is to the actual character and the film and how he's been promoting it. It's been great. And then also, I have to say, the JSA is just incredible. It's a great addition to the DCEU. Pierce Brosnan and Aldous Hodge are amazing as Dr. Fate and Hawkman respectively. They, along with Black Adam, are the best things about the film, and while the two other members of the Justice Society are not so much in the forefront, like they're there, they are funny, and they have a few lines, they have a few cool moments, but I have to say I think they were a bit underutilized because they focus so much on Black Adam as the threat and the people of Kahndaq that we follow. But then in the JSA, obviously, we have Dr. Fate and Hawkman, who were the two leads. And so basically they're just supporting them the whole way through, and yeah, I think that's gonna be for another film to actually develop their characters properly. And so let's move on to talk about the cinematography. So the film looks great. I think the visuals are amazing. The cinematographer of Joker shot the film, Lawrence Sher, and it's pretty much the entire way very high contrast, and it's very colorful, it's very saturated throughout, obviously to kind of emulate what Kahndaq looks like in the comics. And the CGI, obviously there is lots of CGI in the film because Black Adam is a person that can fly and can use magic and shoots lightning out of his hands. So the CGI at first is a little bit shaky in that first fight scene in the cave. However, the CGI gets better as the film goes on, and as you kind of get used to everything happening, because a lot of the times we are in the air, we're in the sky, and you see Black Adam holding two enemies, and he like, you know, lets go of them, or he's fighting them, and he's pretty much just like Superman zooming around super fast. And so yeah, I definitely think the CGI, they did some good work, although it's not perfect. And I have a couple of complaints just about the ADR, so the sound. The music was really good in the film. I think the music was actually pretty much there throughout the entire film, like I said, with the action I think the music pairs with it in terms of it's non-stop, it's always there, and I love the music. But the ADR, the sound, the actual dubbing of the dialogue at times is a bit shaky, and that is mainly in the flashback scenes. I know that a lot of it was in slow motion and stuff, but I don't think that excuses the lip sync being a little bit off, and yeah, it was just a little bit distracting sometimes. But like I mentioned before, the cinematography is great, the visuals look great, and it's a huge spectacle, and it's clear that that is what they're going for. They are focusing on what can we make that makes it seem like this is a huge film. And obviously you fight someone like Sabak, and you have Black Adam facing off against him and also the Justice Society, and with them flying and the cinematography being so luscious and full of colors, and you know, you have the fiery oranges of Kahndaq and you know, the dark blues of the night sky. It really does make for a spectacle with all of the action, and like I said, it's the most action-packed DC film yet. So I definitely think this is going to be one of the things that fans are going to love about the film, because it feels like a comic book that just never ends, and there's not actually that much time for talking. Like, you don't actually get to know quite a lot of the characters apart from our core characters, and that's because so much of the runtime is used to actually have those battle scenes. And so I think that is in some ways good and some ways detrimental to the film, that I think people who aren't so into action are going to feel a little bit left out, because you know, some of these character moments that could have been there have basically been a little bit shunned in order to focus on all out action. But I have to say, as a comic book film, it delivers the comic book action in a really good way. And so this film, at the center of it, is about uprising, and it's about becoming a hero or becoming something else, and basically changing your ways if it's possible within inside of yourself. Obviously there's a lot more to the film and its message, but that's just like kind of one of the takeaways that you can take away from the film. And there are many crazy moments with some of these great characters that I really can't stop thinking about, but I can't really spoil you guys. Like I said, this is a non-spoiler review, so I'm not going to go into the details, but when you've seen the film, you'll know what I'm talking about. Some proper great character moments, especially, and I'll tease this, as Sabak comes back to Kahndaq. That is my favorite scene of the entire film. So, in terms of linking to the greater DCEU, what goes on? Well, we have the inclusion of Task Force X, and that's just, you know, a brief link we saw in the trailer with Amanda Waller showing up, and they definitely lead to one of the coolest, best fan moments of the entire film. Like, people, when you see this scene, you're gonna go insane. But that's as much as I'll tease for now. But anyway, so everything throughout this entire film, as I've pretty much been hinting to, is heavily motivated and profoundly passionate, and that goes down to what you're seeing on screen, to the actual craft behind it. So the people shooting the film, the actors, the producers, everyone clearly believes in the film, and you can really see that passion oozing through the screen. So there is no doubt in my mind, if this film does good, we're going to be getting a Black Adam 2 in no time, and hopefully future films with The Rock as Black Adam, and obviously with these other characters surrounding him. I could totally see like a Justice League versus JSA film. That would be amazing, obviously spearheaded by Black Adam and some other characters. And so all in all, the craft of this film is very good. The cinematography is great, the editing is good, the CGI is solid, the acting is very good, and you know, the whole message of the film is good. I would say the main problem of the film is actually in the screenplay. I think some of the dialogue is a little bit shaky here and there, especially how, you know, you kind of go back to this just one crowd of people in Kahndaq. Actually, it's funny, there is a kind of cameo, but he shows up like 3 or 4 times by one of the actors from the Flash TV show, that being the actor for Captain Singh, the head of CCPD in the Flash on the CW. So I thought that was a funny little Easter egg. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but he is a big character on the show, so it was funny to see him show up on the screen. But the whole crowd of people in Kahndaq are so heavily motivated, and they are all excited to see that their savior, or well, their so-called savior, has returned in the form of Black Adam. that they basically stand up and they do an uprising against the people that have been oppressing them. I think it works. However, the fact that we go back to pretty much the same group of people every time just makes it feel a little bit smaller in terms of scale. So I would have loved to see like various crowds in different parts of the city in order to make it feel like a huge event with what was happening in Kandak, obviously throughout this film. However, I will have to say the kid, who is one of the main stars of the film, along with the mum, are kind of great leaders for Kandak in terms of, you know, they liaise with Black Adam in this film, and I'm pretty sure that was set up in the trailers because you've seen them in the shots. Well, they are just as important to the film as Black Adam in some way, as being the kind of motivational force in order to make Black Adam into something greater than what he is initially here for. He's here for revenge. He is here to serve justice, and his justice is brutal, but that's obviously not what everyone else wants, and that's why the JSA comes in the first place, to try and subdue Black Adam on the orders of Amanda Waller, because she wants to contain Black Adam. And so, yeah, that pretty much does it for my review, guys. I would say overall, I really enjoyed the film. If I was to give it a rating out of 10, I would probably give the film maybe like an 8.5 out of 10. It's a very, very solid film. There is a lot to love, and I would say as a DC fan, it would be like a 9.5 out of 10 as a fan. But obviously in terms of everything, I have to be fair. So I think some of the ADR and some of the screenplay choices in terms of dialogue was a little bit shaky at times, so I can't give it like the full marks, but it's a very good film. I'm going to be rewatching it many times, so yeah, definitely go ahead, watch it in the cinema. It's thoroughly entertaining, and it has action to no end. It's epic, and it's a proper spectacle, and fans are gonna love it like yourself. So for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like and a comment, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. But for now, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see